Okay, people, welcome back to another Foosh cast.
We're about to get mild.
We're about to get all mild up in here, as they say, on the streets.
On the cobblestone streets of our hometown.
Be sure to shop the shops down there.
We're coming to you live from Anytown, America.
We could be your neighbor.
We have a screen door to the studio. Come on in, say hello.
You're always welcome in our back door. Welcome back to another Foosh cast.
We're here.
Yeah, I drove up to Kansas City
on the night before the Super Bowl.
yeah. But I kind of skirt around Kansas City for this.
Well, it's not like the Super Bowl's here. It's just
because your exact address is. I don't run into any heavy traffic on the way up here. It's pretty leisurely drive.
We worry about you in the city traffic up around here.
Yeah, it could get a bit hectic.
But you're going to be headed to the big city here in a few weeks.
We are heading to the big. Well, I'm heading back up to here.
Yep.
And then we'll head to the big city, the Big Apple.
The Windy Apple.
Is that a thing?
No. It was on The Simpsons.
Oh, was it?
Okay.
Damn it.
It's Toy Fair time, and it's exciting. It's
all you can
anxious.
Once you book tickets or you get approved for the pass, that's all you can think about. You're like, oh, what am I going to see? Who am I going to get to talk to?
Yeah.
What toys am I going to get to fondle around?
And the answer is a lot and stuff that you don't remember.
New York, the only place where my
Apple.
the only place where my debit card has been hacked.
And what were those numbers again? That was the year that I wasn't there.
That was on my I was all on my own.
You didn't
Don't take the black cab.
You didn't have your street smarts.
Always take the yellow cab.
Yellow
cab. They saw me coming a mile away. I got out into the airport and they were just like, "This way, sir." And I was like, "Man, this sure is fancy." And I got in the car and I was like, "Oh man, New York cabs are amazing."
Does my hotel have one of them cement ponds?
Then I got to the hotel. It was like $150. Whoa. Oh,
Boyo.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
They saw Hayseed getting off the plane.
that may seem like a lot of money, but it's not nearly as much money as that you're probably going to need
When they reveal all these toys at New York Toy Fair.
We've done Toy Fair several years. There's a little bit of a routine to it. It's definitely its own animal.
It is.
If you're accustomed to going to cons and shows where it's open, the atmosphere is very different. There are people that are like really doing their work.
Well,
I don't want to say it necessarily feels more professional, but it kind of does.
Well, the thing about going to San Diego, we've been to San Diego quite a few times. It's kind of a rollout. It's kind of a, here's the first day, you'll see some stuff. Here's the second day, you'll see some stuff. With Toy Fair, it feels like, here's all this stuff all at the same time.
Because the presentation and the unveiling to the press for things like that is just a part of Toy Fair. At San Diego, that's the whole point.
Don't get me wrong, that first day of San Diego, when you're going in the doors, you're like, where do I go? Oh, Hasbro, Mezco, NECA. I got to get around, take some pictures. But then you're going to see new stuff the next day and new stuff the next day.
But at Toy Fair, you could have an appointment with a company and they're just walking around showing, fanboys, the new stuff that's coming out and talking about it. And then 20 minutes after they're gone, we're gone. They may be having buyers in a booth and they're trying to make their whole year, for sales and things like that. So it's different, but I have to say the atmosphere of it,
a lot of
going
suits.
in,
a lot of suits at Toy Fair.
I don't consider it to be stuffy. It's just a little bit more regimented that I actually kind of like it.
It kind of feels like around the action, because the action figures are pretty much grouped together around in there, and that feels like some familiarity when we're there. It's when we wander away from there, it's kind of like I do not feel like I'm a part of this.
And when you say that, I mean the area that most of the places that we focus on, their booths are set up in a way that for the most part it's walk up and see, and it's okay to engage and take photographs. You ask for permission, for sure, before you take pictures of things at Toy Fair. When you kind of move into like the larger areas or companies that don't necessarily have product that is as much fan centric or based, that's when it gets a little bit more why are you guys looking at our stuff?
I mean,
sometimes,
you want to take pictures of,
because
it was like
I don't think that's allowed.
What was it, Uncle Milton with the excavations with the bones, the skulls and stuff? We'll wander over and I want to take pictures, and they're looking at me like I'm kind of crazy. Why? It's not the crazy crowds, everybody going crazy.
The point of it is not just to show stuff off for photographs. There are bigger
fish to fry
going on there. So you're more a part of it instead of it's not the focus of it.
Very intimidating at times, I feel. Only because I'm not used to that environment.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. To me, though, there is a little bit of, it's almost calming to me, because when you're at conventions and things like that, I mean, there's a lot of movement and you know, not fighting to do everything all at the same time, but you're the best laid plans for like scheduling or we're gonna go here first and then here next and then whatnot at Comic-Con. Everybody has a good idea until they're hit in the mouth, right? A good plan until they're hit in the mouth, and right when you go through the doors of Comic-Con, you kind of get hit in the mouth because it's just.
But with San Diego, you're heading here. Okay, we got to go over here.
Yeah.
Well, we're in Mattel.
And then you get distracted by something else, and it's like, oh shit, we didn't even do what we initially intended.
Right. I got to get back over through that crowd.
With Toy Fair, it's schedule a time, book it, and you know when you're going, and you don't just roll up to talk to people when it's not your time to do it, because they are doing other things. There's a little bit of comfort, I think, that comes in that, because there is a little bit more structure with it, and it's also nice because it's when it's your time to meet with them, then you have a little bit more focus.
Yeah,
it's hard for somebody like Randy from NECA or you know, some of the other guys who are very much a part of being in their booth and the experience at a convention. I mean, it's coming from all angles, and it's hard for them to pick up and put focus. But when you have like a time scheduled at Toy Fair, then it's, you know, it's more focused, right?
And so, that's kind of cool. You keep saying structured for Toy Fair. We already have our appointments ready to go.
I think we've got a couple of them still pending, or I'm trying to get, you know, locked in.
But we know that Saturday is going to be a long day because we start right off the bat.
Yep.
Going into what is it?
First thing, Mezco
is usually
they do this on purpose, you know, which is smart.
In the past 2 years, it's always been that straight to Mezco.
When you go to Toy Fair, that's when you really start where you're like, man, Hasbro, companies like Hasbro and Mattel, they pull a lot of weight because they have gigantic permanent kind of display places and whatnot, and they have event like scheduled time, and Playmates does the same thing too, where all of the media or whatever come in and kind of do their thing. Mezco kind of does that same thing, but they're one of the I don't want to call them a smaller company, but I mean they're not Hasbro and Mattel, right? But it's set up to be that it's a planned event, and like all the like media
out of all of them, that feels most like Comic-Con. And they almost run it just like Comic-Con, because that's also where they give away swag.
And it's always handled very well. I always it's a good way to kick off Toy Fair, because it's like, you know where you're going to, they have people available to answer questions, and it's an experience that you don't really get the rest of the show because you're kind of playing off of everybody else.
So Mezco's
going to be to kick it off, and the other part that I like about Mezco is that I never know what to really expect as far as what they're going to show, because they're like notorious for all of a sudden it's like, oh, here's a new figure from a license that you didn't know that we had, or we just got it.
You know, you're going to see a lot of what you've already seen, right? Or stuff that's coming, stuff that they just
the 112
solicited or something.
Stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
But they always pull something out.
Yeah.
Like Lockjaw or Ghost Rider, or I can't even tell you what I'd like to see from there.
Well, we were talking about it before. It's, you know, I'm an admirer mostly of the 112 collective line.
You're not a cloth guy.
Not a big cloth guy, but it's their non-superhero properties in that format that I like the most. Popeye's by far my favorite. I've just got the Warriors, and now the whole Gomez thing. The pink skull guy. Oh, those guys are great.
Yeah, because the clothes lay so great, and they're not skin tight. They're not impeding any kind of articulation. They just work.
Oh man, are they gonna show an olive oil or a wimpy or something for Popeye, or more Gomez?
There's some surprise factor going on. They've shown a lot of logos from different properties that they haven't even shown a figure from yet, so it could be anything.
Yeah, and now they're doing Conan. Gosh,
Yeah.
lots of stuff with that. Yeah,
And then from there, we go straight to NECA.
right to NECA.
Which is an appointment type thing. So we meet up and we get shown stuff one-on-one.
With
we go through the
Randy.
booth.
The cool part about the NECA one is that we can kind of go in and do pictures first and get a feel for stuff that's out there, and then turn around and shoot video and talk to Randy as we're going through. So it's like we're not just coming up to stuff that, oh gosh, now we got to talk about this and I'm just seeing it for the first time. They give you some time to get into it, to make, you know, I guess the coverage a little bit more coherent. And God damn, I am excited for NECA this year.
There's a lot of NECA stuff. I mean, Turtles, of course.
Turtles
but
is easy, but Gremlins, the Alien anniversary stuff.
face printing.
Oh man, the possibility that we might get all of the crew, the Nostromo crew, in some format. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but
Right.
it seems like a possibility now. And Randy hasn't confirmed anything, but it certainly hasn't been, you know, shot down yet. So that could be a thing. I would love to get Dallas in his, you know, just his jumpsuit.
There's always a lot to see.
Yeah, and you know, their cloth stuff is even their 8-inch stuff.
You just got
They've
Bob
some-
Ross,
I
didn't
just
you?
got Bob Ross. I think no matter what, Turtles is going to be the biggest thing. I believe he has confirmed that on Twitter that we are going to see the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive shown at Toy Fair, and everybody's brain goes to movie, right?
Yeah,
So
hoping.
that's gonna be a big thing. There's very little, if anything, that they can show off as far as Turtles go that I'm not gonna be like, yep, gotta have.
I know. Easy marks.
Yeah,
Easy marks for some Turtle merch.
Yeah.
And then from there, we probably have some time. We'd probably go to Super 7.
A little bit of time. Go to Super 7 and talk to Brian Flynn. Of all the companies at Toy Fair, their booth is more. It's set up more
It's
like
a
a
display.
convention booth. It's a display, and it has an environment that I think is encouraged to go in
Right.
and look at and take pictures. I'm expecting to see Thundercats.
Oh, yeah.
Series 3 being shown
You think?
off too.
That's awful early. That wouldn't be till May that the next Thundercats order goes up. But there's also other lines. That,
No,
Super
Thundercats Wave 3 April.
Well, what?
Yeah, there you go. There's a chance that, I mean, I don't know if Super 7's going to do a pre-order for maybe an oddball one again for February.
We're talking about the future, which is going to be the past. People see.
Right.
Editing.
I would expect to see Turtles, Thundercats. I would very much like to see, you know, because they do series, but then they do some one-offs too, like Comic Conan,
Toxic Avenger.
Honestly, I would
I know.
like to see an actual line of Toxic Crusaders.
Because they just did Reaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would started.
I would buy
pre-order.
all of those guys in Ultimates form. Man, could you imagine if Super 7 did like an advanced Dungeons and Dragons line
Shut
with
your
like War Duke and stuff? Oh,
Shut your mouth.
God!
Shut your mouth.
Oh, that would be so rad.
Dang, I hadn't thought about that.
I mean, that format. It's the.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
In terms of like the stylized part of it, but gosh, throw in like D&D with Masters and Thundercats and Conan the Barbarian movie stuff. Oh God.
Tiger Sharks.
Silverhawks. I mean, they would lend themselves
That
easy
style.
to that style.
And like you talked about, when I haven't opened any Masters figures in a while, but you just opened the movie line and they're fantastic.
They're on
right?
their game. New movie and the new Filmation figures are fantastic. And if they've got it figured out now, oh man, Thundercats and Turtles, and you know, they're going to be great.
And with Thundercats, some people aren't happy that it's not 100% cartoon accurate, but man, Thundercats.
It may not be exactly a cartoon,
And it may have its own
but
strays.
But with like Tigra, I mean, that's Tigra, you know.
Right.
So
I'm excited to look at Super 7. Very laid back. You just wander over there.
And they've always got some reaction stuff that I'm actually kind of interested in. Not so much for the form,
but for the
property
that you know that you'll never see in any other kind of action form.
They teased the other day that Beavis and Butthead reactions are getting ready to drop. I'm all over that.
From there, hopefully we'll get something to eat before The long, long haul of Hasbro.
Before the Widowmaker. The Hasbro event is fun, but man, it's intense.
It's a chore. Because you go in there and you're into an auditorium type room, and you can't take pictures, you can't record, so you're just kind of tweeting.
The auditorium style room is literally like a big lecture. It feels like a lecture hall from college.
Yeah.
Right, and they do their presentations, which are thorough.
It's usually a long presentation, but now they're adding more properties to this, and it's going to be like
rumored, right?
Well, rumored, and I mean, for sure they have Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And they're going to show something Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
The rumored G.I. Joe, which...
Hasbro, I mean, I wasn't allowed to collect G.I. Joes when I was a kid. So if this is a thing and it's going to be real, I'm going to be making up for some lost time for real. But I've already got 2 full lines of Ghostbusters, and I'm going to be in it for Hasbro too, because I got to be honest with you, it's going to be better.
With the Ghostbuster stuff, I skipped Mattel stuff. I think I got the 4-pack with the Ghostbusters 2 costumes.
Yep.
I think
with the Santa hats.
I think my son has those. But I don't have a team of Ghostbusters for me.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this.
I wish I could say the same thing. Well, and that's the thing. Well, that's the thing. I've got Ghostbusters kind of structurally set up behind me, but I haven't committed to finishing the display because what Hasbro announces is going to impact how I decide to do it.
Because at the moment, the rumor is 6-figure first series, 4 Ghostbusters, 2 oddballs, and then a Build-A-Figure. So who knows?
They're going to cover off on the movies for sure.
Yeah.
But what I'm really anticipating, and they may not have anything to say about it since it's just going to be getting started, is that the thing that we really have not gotten is something, I don't want to say comprehensive because I don't need something comprehensive, but something real Ghostbusters focused. I think that's a big one. I think people want it, and it's more toyetic to me. Yeah. That's for sure. But it was a Kenner line, right?
Yeah.
So it's like there's a little bit of, and we're talking a lot about Ghostbusters here, but even one that you kind of like might look past, there's a lot of potential there.
And then if G.I. Joe does appear, I mean, okay, I was cartoon. I watched the cartoon. I didn't collect a lot of the toys. I don't know why.
Really? Yeah. I thought you did.
I had a few. Night Creeper's my main toy.
Night Creeper. Yeah. I've never even heard of Night Creeper.
But and I had like a Destro, and everybody had Snake Eyes.
I have a G.I. Joe.
Shadow, but I didn't have hardly any of the vehicles.
Really?
And then, no, I was already Transformers, He-Man, Star Wars, of course.
Right.
So G.I. Joe was kind of that extras line. When I couldn't find anything else from the others, I'd get a G.I. Joe.
Well, and I have G.I. Joe story that I'll save for another time. Me not having a full initiation into it, not having watched the cartoon, not having collected the figures, but really wanting to. I don't know. What do you want these figures to look like? Because to me, when I picture, gosh, what should if it is going to be a Marvel Legends or Star Wars Black Series version of G.I. Joe, to me, the first thing that pops into my head is getting these figures that recall the original card art.
I would be happy with that, and I'd be happy with,
because the cartoon was just kind of a streamlined, not dumbed down, simplified version of the card art.
But at the same time, I would be, if it was cartoon styled, I'd still want to see like modern embellishments. Detail work.
But I think that's what I mean. Isn't the card art just that though, or is it a little bit different? than that?
I mean, if you look at Duke on the card back, on the action figure in the cartoon, you could tell, all 3 of these are Duke.
Right.
All 3 of these are Snake Eyes. So I would be good with those original designs.
You haven't mentioned the most important Joe yet. Chuckles.
Well, we'll get to Chuckles.
That's another time.
Yeah, that's another story.
Gosh, it's exciting. And like I said, I don't even really have the affiliation with it, but I'm going to be making up for some lost time. I wish my knuckles would have cracked there, but they didn't.
but that's not even mentioning they're going to show new Star Wars stuff. They're going to show new Marvel Legends stuff. They're going to show new... What other lines they have?
Power Rangers.
Would be stuff. Overwatch seems kind of quiet on that front lately.
I didn't pay a lot of attention to that, but maybe, we're used to being...
Transformers.
Well, I look forward and I dread Marvel Legends at Toy Fair every single year. I look forward to it because, damn it, I want it all. And at the same time, it's like, oh my God, there's so much stuff. I can't even keep it straight when I'm sitting here looking at it for the first time.
Because
so it's overwhelming. So their release pattern for Legends is something that we've been conditioned to be a part of, but maybe that's not the same for every line. Like maybe Overwatch is only expected to have a couple of releases a year or something. So I don't want to bank it on that. Because,
but even with Power Rangers, though, you're hearing something every few months, something new coming out, exclusive to here, and then Star Wars, 40th anniversary
of
Empire.
Of Empire. But I'm actually looking forward to a little bit of a span of time for Star Wars action figures to be released without having to be beholden to a movie release, and let them mix it up and go back and and I'm not even saying go all the way back, because they could go back to Rogue One or Solo and there's still a lot of stuff to do. They can go back and still, you know, do some stuff from the Rise of Skywalker even that they haven't had a chance to do, and not necessarily have to be putting focus on the next thing. And I don't know, it almost feels cathartic to just focus on the toys instead of the movies that have to the toys.
Force Friday's coming. Yeah, we gotta do everything for the next movie.
I don't have Star Wars movie fatigue. I think I have Star Wars toy release pattern fatigue, not because of the amount of toys that we get or the toys that we do get, because I do like them, but it's really locked onto a certain pattern that I'm kind of happy to break out of for a while.
And doing it like that, there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
Because you get the people that hate the sequels, and you have this whole wave, and there's nothing for them.
Right. I would love to have a Black Series wave where it's like, okay, we're going to do 2 original series, original trilogy figures. We're going to throw in a prequel. Here's a Rogue One guy. Here's, you know, Finn from the Rise of Skywalker or something like that, and just mix it up.
But honestly, the last Force Friday was it was from different places. Yeah. It was from the game. It was from the new movie. It was from Mandalorian. Yeah.
Those are the best figures of all.
Yeah, dang it. I'd like to see more Mandalorian stuff.
Marvel, I don't even, like I said, I don't even know where to start with Marvel.
No. And with Marvel, it's like, and then we have to go back and look at the pictures later that night when we're talking about it in the hotel
to
room.
Remember
to even remember what we saw. And again, Transformers, they'll probably show some more Earthrise stuff. You don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
That's a good 4 or 5 hours that we're there. And the thing about Hasbro, you have to go off-site.
It's funny because it's presentation, which is not like anything that you would see really at a convention. Maybe panel a little bit, but
last year they had a song and dance.
Yeah, but even then, it's different than a panel. You know, it's a presentation that is, you know, point A to point B, and they're not taking questions or whatever during that time. But then afterwards, you go down into the space, which is not a small space, but when you get everybody down there, it gets, you know, cramped and hot. But that's when you see Dwight and people like that and get to talk to him in, you know, a very nice setting, because Dwight's another one of those guys like Randy. It's like he will do for the fans and stand there and talk for hours and hours and hours with everybody that wants to, you know, engage with it. And I admire that so much. But, you know, when you're there, it's like like San Diego, it's like, oh, you don't want to, you know, monopolize his time because there's a lot
of other people wanting to talk to him and stuff.
Getting to go here, it's like you can have a more focused conversation.
And the thing about that, he's there that one day.
Yeah.
He comes in.
He doesn't have to do setup,
the presentation,
as much,
he leaves.
You know. Yeah. It's kind of cool to get Hasbro in and done on day one, but man, that's a hell of a way to start off
it's a long day.
The convention.
I remember the first year I did it, year before last, you weren't able to make it, and man, almost the end of the I think I left Hasbro a little bit early because I was like, I have to eat.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pass out here.
Yeah,
and it was time to go record on the hotel bed.
And then it's
Sunday.
Lighter.
Yeah, Sunday. After that first day, it's almost like, well, we're going to nonchalantly wander over here. But we do have one appointment Sunday morning.
Thus far.
McFarlane Toys.
Yeah.
Which is another, they build a fort. You can't see anything until they let you in the door.
Yep.
And there, it's all about the Fortnite. No, they have Fortnite. They have My Hero Academia. I'm expecting to see Series 2 of that at the London Toy Fair. We saw a little peek of Uraraka and Kirishima. I'm excited.
Sure did.
Are we excited?
We're
hell yeah, we're
over
excited.
the moon. Are they continuing on with? Do we know like Harry Potter or Game of Thrones or anything like that?
I think there is another series of Game of Thrones that they may show.
That's cool.
But I don't know where I heard that. We're going to see Spawn probably from Mortal Kombat.
And then, I mean, there's got to be DC stuff. Like, crazy, right?
Because that'll be 2 months in from their debut of the DC line. Mm-hmm. So surely they're going to show the next things, because by then Birds of Prey is about to come out.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Wonder Woman. And I think we've already seen hints that they're doing a Harley and a Wonder Woman and Arkham Asylum. That's another one of those lines people...
Oh, video game?
Yeah, the video game.
Okay.
That's another one of those lines where people see the scale and they automatically write it off. Which we were talking about in Walmart today.
They're big.
They're huge.
Yeah.
But after you mess with them, they're fun and they're nicely sculpted. It could be a little bit more coherent. Cohesive, I guess.
Yeah.
The word I'm looking for.
It's definitely a multiverse. Oh, you're the one not being coherent.
No, it's late.
It's definitely a multiverse approach in it. But you know, I was thinking about, because most of the figures that we saw tonight were the DC animated ones. Mm-hmm. And those seemed like, to me, that it was like they were almost 10 inches tall, which they're not. And I think what it is because I'm accustomed to the 3 3/4
old figures, yeah,
animated ones, and now these just they look huge. I haven't picked up a McFarlane DC figure yet, but I may get Superman as my tryout.
I would. That's the one I would recommend to anybody to just try out.
And the thing is that I'm not disliking or hating on what they've done. It's just, you know, my DC line was DC Universe Classic, so I've been kind of spotty with buying DC figures ever since that one ended. I've, you know, got multiverse stuff here and there, but it almost feels like that's pretty much a closed collection for me now, as much as I hate to say it.
Because they got a lot of figures out.
Yeah.
A lot of deep cuts.
Yeah. And had we thought about it, we would have, you know, maybe set up in front of that stuff.
Oh, well, yeah, that would have been a neater background. But, and nothing against McFarlane, any toy company that takes over the DC license at this point, there's no way that they're getting to some of these characters within the first 10 years of production.
Right.
It's a nice collection on its own, but it's gone as far as it's gone.
Yeah.
Or it's going to go.
Yeah, it's done.
And looking at the McFarlane stuff, I can understand people wanting another line to add to that collection or to mix and match with their Marvel Legends.
Why would McFarlane do that?
No,
though?
they want to sell their own.
Sense.
Hey, we're going to make new characters, but it fits in with the old Mattel stuff. If you already have this Superman, go ahead and pass on mine. You already have one.
Right. And
not
now
business.
I'm going to try to sell Z-list characters, and that's it.
Yeah, no.
As much as I would love it, it's a very
thing.
small market.
and I don't buy a lot of 7-inch stuff, but on its own, the DC stuff together, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more, or I'm excited to see more, especially if there's a Deadshot or a Catman. He's going to do Catman in the first year. No, that's probably not going to happen.
But right now, like I said, we've got a couple of appointments pending right now, and if I can, we'll probably squeeze those into Sunday as well. Sunday is almost like a day to get caught up on all the stuff that you saw on Saturday too.
That and wander the rest of the floor just to see what's out there. Boss Fight's probably down in front of the food court or somewhere down there.
That's genius. I mean, that's great because everybody goes to get something to eat at some point. They're gonna have Flash Gordon. They've been teasing their Flash Gordon stuff. I'm hoping to see more Bucky stuff from them, and then of course, you know, their hacks, their bread and butter.
Man, I can't even think of other stuff on the floor. Wandering around seeing poop toys and toilet toys and floaties last year. Every time we turned a corner, there was floaties of some kind.
Which I'm fine with seeing more floaties. I hope there's less poop this year.
yeah, that was kind of bad.
Call me old fashioned, but I don't know.
Call me an old stickler.
I'm not into the poop toys.
I don't like playing with my poop.
Yeah.
Monday we gotta get up early again.
Early because Mattel. Is this the second year, maybe third year?
Was last year breakfast too?
Yep, where they have a breakfast event where they have kind of like a continental breakfast setup.
They have their own floor of the convention center.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to go up the stairs
with like real
through
walls.
Security. And there was food last year, wasn't there?
Yeah, bagels and stuff,
but nothing to see.
Well,
okay, wait. Before we get to that, they did do that the year before, where everybody lines up and then they bring you in, and they took you through other rooms that had cool, like Jurassic Park and stuff, but they wouldn't allow you to look. It's like, please look ahead, phones down to your side, do not take pictures, da-da-da-da-da. We're taking you to where you can look. And that was some DC stuff and some mega constructs, and they only allowed that, and then you had to bunch up and wait for them to escort you back out through the cool shit again.
Back in like the Maddie days, they had just like an extra room like down on the food court level, but it's like you didn't even realize that these rooms were down there, and they weren't made up at all. It's like white walls with like folding tables set up with just like the product sitting on it for the collector stuff, and it was just okay. So it was never up in the big one. It seems like a big unknown for me this year. I mean, I think we are going to expect to see a lot of Jurassic Park again. I'm going to bet that there's still probably going to be maybe a decent Toy Story presence with them.
I forgot
again.
about Toy Story. Yeah,
but then I mean, from a collector audience type of thing, we know it's coming. They showed some stuff off from it at Comic-Con this past year, but I mean, they made it clear that the new Masters of the Universe Origins line would not be something that would be releasing to retail until late 2020. So they just showed off Scareglow.
Yeah.
For that, so I would think that we're going to see a little bit more. I don't know what we can expect as far as what we're going to see there, but
and right now on shelves we're seeing the Origins WWE. Oh, how dare you!
I know, I'm old school. I'm old fool. Yeah.
The mashups, we're seeing that on shelves right now. You wanted all
and
of those.
Are exclusive.
Yeah. As much as I like that He-Man and Adam set from last year's San Diego, it's neat to just have those two and the presentation of those two figures. But
I'll get Merman because I buy Merman everything. Scareglow
Merman.
Maybe, and Spikor would be my other one. But
yeah, I can't do it.
It seems as though Mattel's pulled back their licensing from other companies, and so Super 7's not going to be doing Masters anymore, which I don't know. I talked about this in my review of the movie figures. It doesn't sit right with me. I think there's room for multiple executions, and it seems like they've like pulled the tablecloth to make it clear to just do Origins as a thing and Mega Constructs.
Yeah.
I'm actually more interested and excited.
You bought those tonight.
What Mega Constructs stuff is going to be.
But
I don't know. Origins,
competing.
I'm not. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like Classics had gotten so deep and so direct to consumer, like pre-order. You've got to pre-order it, otherwise you're going to be left out because they're made to order. I mean, that's the opposite of a Walmart line, right? So we'll see.
Mattel,
but the Jurassic Park as well. You know, they hinted at Nedry.
Yeah, that was new at Comic-Con last year.
Dilophosaurus. I would love to see an Alan Grant. And
I don't know, man.
Statler. I'd take a Statler.
Sadler.
Sadler, yeah.
Waldorf.
Yeah. These figures are terrible. I mean, think about that Poison Ivy.
Shut your mouth.
DC figure.
That was last year at Toy Fair.
And
that the 5 figures they showed, or 4 or 5.
Those did not really turn out the same way.
But from there, we go over to Jazzwares for an appointment. For Fortnite!
What did I buy tonight on
Fortnite?
They're great for photography. But man, every once in a while, like Peely or the Tomato guy or Leviathan, every once in a while, there's a design that's just like, shit, I've got to have that, and just put it in kind of an odd spot in the
they're just fun.
Because they're a lot of fun.
You can see them, and I want so much Leviathan. Just give him a repaint and maybe a different head or something for the Star Wars
I almost
display.
bought the DJ guy today too because he's so rad looking.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm surprised I didn't get him.
The McFarlane line is fun, right? The Jazzwares line is fun. That's why I was signing the NDA last year, because I saw the picture of Rabbit Raider and I knew I had to get into the Jazzwares booth. This year we have an appointment. We're good to go. Yeah. We don't have to go through all the paperwork and stuff. But it's for the Fortnite line. But they also have the AEW line. or license, and I don't know if they're doing action figures or other things for that. I'd like to see if they go action figures.
So. I mean, because AEW has a network deal now, right?
Yeah, TNT.
So, I mean, you would think that would be...
And they have characters. I would kill for a 6 or 1/12 scale Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus is awesome, isn't he?
Yep.
Hell yeah. The whole Jurassic Express.
That's the thing about the Fortnite line with Jazzwares is that if there was a property that you liked in the past and you found out that Jazzwares had the master toy license, it was like, shit. But now they've shown that, hey, look what we can do, and holy shit, it's impressive.
Yeah, yeah.
So
there's some limitations to it, but that's also the designs from the game.
Sure, but
Baggy clothes,
they can
that kind
show
of thing.
that they detailed sculpts, nice paintwork, and lots of articulation. It's like, you know,
Prince of Money.
Yeah,
Prince of Money. Brain going over to wrestling and then back to Mattel.
Oh, shit.
I didn't even think about WWE. Yeah, we talked about that twice tonight.
Yes, I would love to see. I mean, I only collect, you know,
Right.
up to like 92-ish or 93-ish guys with some exceptions here and there. I'd love to see some new.
I've
classic-
never.
But-
I'm afraid of
but
going
their-
down that rabbit hole. With,
Their WWE stuff. They save that. I mean, that's like Comic-Con. They show so much WWE
You don't know
stuff at Comic-Con, and then the rest of the year, some stuff trickles out here and there. But Toy Fair hasn't. To me, last year they didn't
showed
really
a
show
few.
off a lot of new stuff, and it's hard for me to track like the modern stuff, what's new and what's been shown and what's not. So,
but if they don't show a Fiend this year, they're leaving money on the table.
you mean Haku? Bad News Brown?
No, Jazzwares. Seems like they got another license too that I was kind of interested in.
I mean, right now when I think of Jazzwares, I affiliate it with Fortnite, and that's all because that's their most collector
figures.
market permeated line, you know.
And then from there, we just wander again for the rest of that day.
Yeah, we've always prioritized staying close to
Yeah.
Javits, but when you do that, the hotels aren't great. And there's like the restaurants, you got to walk a little bit. But we're staying a little bit further away this time. But I'm gonna get you into some better restaurants.
Get me into
some,
my New York experience.
Yeah.
Man, that hotel last year with the plywood and foam piece of foam on top.
Yeah,
I'm climbing over your bed to get to the desk to work on videos. My big hope now is that it doesn't snow either here or New York.
Right.
Around there, because I'm terrible with snow.
Having Toy Fair in February in New York, I don't know. I don't know who's. I mean, maybe back when it started, like maybe most of the industry was closer to that, or whatever, and it wasn't such a big thing. But man, that's the only part about the trip that because Comic-Con, again, I think it comes with a certain amount of anxiety. It's fun, but it's also, you know...
You're also spending 4 days in sunny 70-degree San Diego.
Inside of a convention center with 100,000 people. It's fun.
And we'll be reporting from hotel beds every Friday for the past couple of weeks. It's been, Toy Fair's coming.
And you know Toy Fair's coming, and a lot of the companies, and we've talked about it, like... NECA and Super 7 too, and Hasbro's kind of been having some press release stuff coming out. It's like you feel the dam is getting real. It's the springing leaks now, and it's getting close to bursting, and it's...
And by the time you get there, you know half the stuff. But it's still exciting. Man, you can tell me all the information you want. One, I'm going to forget half of it by the time I go to bed and wake back up. And two... seeing it in prototype or plastic form right there in front of that's
the thing. I mean, even if like you have the rumors and you know stuff that comes out in terms of information, when you're discussing it, it's still abstract, right?
Yeah.
But then once you see everything and you kind of know when stuff is put to order and whatnot, then you can really focus on it and talk about it and get excited about it and know, okay, well, see you in, August.
Toy Fair.
Toy Fair. Anyway,
that's our Toy Fair.
Lots of
that's what's going to happen at Toy Fair.
Every year
we probably ramble longer about what's going to happen at Toy Fair than we will about Toy Fair.
Nah, because we do 3 or 4 of those.
Shut your mouth. We don't ramble. This is all pertinent information that you need to know.
Yeah.
Plus, doing this helps us wrap our heads around what needs to be done.
Yeah. Because
just
talking
wanna get
through the
toys, and then we
appointments,
wanna show toys.
It's like, oh gosh, I need to follow up on 2 or 3 companies to make sure that we get locked in that we haven't done yet. So,
But until then, I don't know when I'm going to post this, but it may be next week. It may be in a couple weeks, but Toy Fair is right around the corner.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
As far as I'm concerned, once you get to January, Toy Fair is right around the corner.
Yeah, past Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Past holiday sales and everything else. It's time to think about what's coming up.
Yeah.
What am I going to have to pre-order?
Yeah.
So we'll catch you on that there whoosh.
On the whoosh. Goodbye.
Safe journey.
Thanks for joining us.
These microphones, they're really fun.
And if we can get a little crazy with our friends here, cowabunga, dudes.